Yeah, he sounded like a wrestler that day. It is the Valenti and Rico show. I'm Stoney in for Mike, Kenny Cott, the Hatchet Man, David Hull. Great show for you planned on this Friday pre-Easter weekend. And Rico, how the hell are you?
I'm good, Stoney. I am good. Apparently, these guys in the office a little bit more because of WrestleMania, but
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, look, the Pistons playoffs begin tomorrow in New York. It's great. The Stanley Cup playoffs begin tomorrow. Well, not so great.
Yeah, Red Wings play win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We should give Riley Green his kudos. We ripped him a little bit this week, but he had 3 hits last night as the Tigers returned home and got a win. But you mentioned WrestleMania. It is this weekend in Las Vegas. And I used to be a big wrestling fan. WrestleMania 3 in 1987, my second year here in Detroit, I had friends flew in from New York to go see WrestleMania. And it was one of the greatest events and spectacles I'd ever seen. I believe Aretha sang the national anthem. It was unbelievable. You had obviously the big match of Hulk Hogan against Andre the Giant. But the Superfly Snuka match was just unbelievable. There was so much great
Wasn't
stuff.
That Macho Man, Ricky Dragon, Steamboat.
There we go. Yeah, from the top. It was great stuff. It was great
I used
theater.
to follow wrestling.
Yeah. Okay. It had, 93,000 people at the Silverdome. It was freaking sick. So this weekend, it's in Las Vegas. And now WrestleMania has become so big, Rico, that it is a 2-day event. They got a full card on Saturday and a full card on Sunday. This has happened, I think, the last 5 or 6 years, and it's become 2 days, if I'm not mistaken. So I am a little ignorant on today's WrestleMania and today's wrestling. So I wanted to ask, and we discussed, because, I don't follow it anywhere near like I used to. I mean, I know a few of the people who are involved, but not that many, But I used to be a huge wrestling guy, and I lost it pretty much a few years after WrestleMania. Maybe 1990 is when I basically tuned out of the world of wrestling. 248-539-9797. When was wrestling taken from your life? When did you lose your love for wrestling, if at all? And if you haven't, is wrestling still a part of your life? And is, this weekend's WrestleMania must-see TV, must-see pay-per-view TV for you when you got, playoff basketball going on, you got the Tigers, you have maybe some family obligations because it's Easter weekend?
Yeah, you know what? In high school, I was really big into wrestling. That's when WrestleMania was here. I said I was too young, but probably one of the bigger regrets. Like, man, I really wish, because I remember after it was over that Monday, 2 of our teachers went to, and we got to school early, and we're sitting there listening to the stories as they're telling us everything that happened. And we're just like little kids, like, okay, and then what happened? Okay, and then what happened? Went to college, and it kind of just started waning off after that. But yeah, I remember, for me, like I said, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I was a big fan of the British Bulldogs.
Bob Uecker was there. Alice Cooper was in Jake the Snake Roberts' corner.
Because it was weird because, like, the Silverdome was so bright. I just remember that. And, Hulk Hogan defeating Andre Giant by just body slamming him. I was like, really? That's all it took? But, nah, I think, Stoney, I probably, when I found out, I was like, wait, Hulk Hogan is bad? What? Yeah, at that point, I had already tapped out. But yeah, in high school, I remember they had the ice cream bars. Yeah, they had, at that point, it was the WWF at that point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They couldn't do anything wrong. I mean, everything they touched turned to gold. And you just like, wow, this is cool. I remember Saturday mornings, they would come on, they would have the match. It was Bobby Heenan, the Brain, Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
Like it was the first, I guess, male soap opera.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I mean, stuff that you probably can't get away with now, because I don't think you can have the Macho Man Miss Elizabeth relationship.
Well, it's pretty weird. Maybe it's sexist.
I don't think you can have that relationship right now, because he used to toss her around the ring.
Oh, I know. Maybe it's sexist, but that's when I started to get out of wrestling, is when they had all the female managers and things like that. It became more of a soap opera, which I didn't like at the time. Now, as far as the women, there used to be some, great women wrestlers back in my day. I mean, there were, God, what the heck was that? I forgot her name. Anyway, the things, and you mentioned the things that they used to do back then, they couldn't do today. For instance, I'm looking at the card from WrestleMania 3. Today, you could not have this match. Hillbilly Jim, the Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver defeating King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook. They were like little people wrestling.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Okay, they used to have, with all due respect, they used to call it midget wrestling, basically.
Right. Yeah, probably couldn't have the junkyard dog.
Mm-hmm.
He would have to change his outfit.
Yeah.
So probably not cool having a black man walking around with chains on.
See, but here's the thing, and Stoney, you started off with saying it's on pay-per-view this weekend. No, it's not. There's no pay-per-view anymore.
Oh, really?
It's on Peacock.
Oh. Wow.
There's no pay-per-view anymore. It is long gone past that. So now that was Peacock. Was the days when I was growing up.
Right.
When I would have a friend in high school who would watch all the pay-per-views, and instead of us paying for it, he would just give us the rundown of everything that happened the night before so we could be ready for Raw on Monday. But yeah, there's no more pay-per-view. It is just Peacock now.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I have Peacock. I can actually watch it.
Yeah, but I remember watching it, the matches, and you get so angry because, like, oh, come on, just, ref, he hit him with a chair. Like, you didn't see it. No, of course the ref did.
Oh, I'm thinking of the fabulous Moolah. That was my favorite woman wrestler, right? Yeah. 248-539-9797 is the telephone number.
$1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Oh, yeah. You look at
probably couldn't have that him and Virgil relationship either.
You look at the greats who were on that card. I mean, unbelievable. Even from the get-go, great names. Bob Orton, the Magnificent Morocco, Hurley Race with Bobby Heenan, and the fabulous
Harley Race.
Harley Race. Didn't I say that?
You said Haley.
I said Haley Race. I meant Harley Race. Sorry, I can't read. Rowdy Piper, Adrian Adonis. Piper. You had the Hart Foundation. Like we mentioned, the great Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage.
Who'd the Hart Foundation go up against?
The Hart Foundation. It was Danny Davis and the Hart Foundation
Bulldogs
defeated Tito Santana and the British Bulldogs.
That broke my heart. I hated the Hart Foundation.
Yep.
David, honestly, I think that was the first thing that I hated. Before I hated Michigan, I hated the Hart Foundation. I did.
I used to love.
That makes sense.
Even before all this, when I was really young, the managers I used to love. Obviously, the late but great Captain Lou Albano was one of my heroes.
Yeah,
loved him. I mean, anybody that could have rubber bands on his beard deserved to be propped up. I loved him. No. And there was a guy called the Grand Wizard, and he was unbelievable. He was a great wrestler.
See, I like the mouth of the South.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Hart,
absolutely.
So people are actually still watching this thing this weekend. People are still doing this.
Oh, yeah. It's good. First of all, the venue is where the Raiders play in Vegas. So it's Allegiant Stadium, okay? So they're going to have 2 nights there. That's going to be completely sold out. So, yeah, of course. If it came back to Ford Field about, 5-10 years ago, it sells out everywhere. People love their wrestling. 248-539-9797. Obviously, you do too. We'll take your calls, your texts. We have Who Said It coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll get into the Piston playoffs. But, hey, it's WrestleMania weekend. 97 won the ticket.